Well, good morning, and I hope you're all well. I'm coming from northern Thailand this time. So I travelled the other day from Bangkok. I got the train up to northern Thailand, up to Chiang Mai. And there's a reason for that. And some 5 years ago, I was here with a friend, and I got the experience of what Chiang Mai was all about. Now, I decided to come back, as crazy as it may sound, but I was kind of almost drawn to come back here some 5 years later. And looking back at some of the photographs, wow, what a transformation. I'll put a couple of pictures up here for you to see. But first, like this video, smash the subscribe button and ding-a-ling that bell for more dynamic, up-to-date modern world content. One of the things that when I stepped off the train, I felt energized. I felt drawn to be here. And I don't know if you've ever experienced that before. You definitely experience the fact that you know about toxicity, and you know environments you don't want to be in, people you don't want to be around. But I kind of got that sense of draw, and I took the long train journey up for the experience. And well, I've spent a couple of days here, and there's a couple of things I want to speak to you about today. So I'm going to talk about 4 areas today, and the first one is, as silly as it may sound to people, I'm going to ask you the question, and you should really be asking yourself the question, is, are you awake? Now, I explained in the first video that the world is very, very noisy at the moment. There is a lot going on, and I think the older you get, the more difficult it becomes, because you're open up to receiving so much more information. And it's almost like being fire hosed with this information. Now, with the takeover of Twitter, now X, Elon Musk is campaigning massively for the freedom of speech, while every other government, or every government around him, seems to be trying to suppress us. And they're all going to fall over very soon, because people want to know, and we've been kept in the dark. And I'm not going to turn this into a political video, but at the end of the day, it's, when I ask the question, are you awake? Are you awake enough to understand what's going on? And are you awake to understand, to know what's going to happen, and what's going to be happening? We're going to cover a little bit more detail in Coffee Corner, but that's the first topic that we're going to discuss today. The next thing, which kind of goes hand in hand with being awake, is awareness. Are you aware of what is going on? Is your eyes really open? You're awake, but are you aware of what's going on? Because it's so easy just to go, yeah, whatever, that's for those type of people, and that doesn't apply to me. And to be honest with you, there's a lot of ignorance and arrogance about people, and being aware of these types is in essence, if you're not in the right vibration, and again, I'm really don't want to turn this into a kind of woo-woo, because I'm not a spiritual type of person per se. Like, I don't practice it. I'm not religious, I'm not spiritualist, but I like a little dose of it, because a lot of it comes from the books and the audio, the books I read, the audio that I listen to. So when I talk about being aware, we can kind of break it down into several subheadings from that. But it's one thing being aware, and it's another thing actually doing something to be able to avoid certain things and to be embraced other things. Okay. Now, I took it 2 years ago. I already explained in the first video. I took it upon myself to go on this personal journey, and part of that was to be aware of my surroundings, start digging deep, not going too far down the rabbit hole, but just to start getting enough information. And I like to say, I like to know a little bit about a lot of things, rather than focus and concentrate on one subject, which makes you kind of boring, doesn't it? I mean, if you're going to join a conversation with any group of people, all you can talk about is the subject that you've got your university degree in, and nothing about the other things that surround that, or nothing about other little bits and pieces in life, it kind of, whatever, you wouldn't last too long with me. So my rule is, I like to know a little bit about a lot of things, rather than just focus on one subject. Now, you might be perfectly happy being, that person that knows everything, or a lot of things about one subject, and you can talk a glass eye to sleep, but that's perfectly good. But I would urge you to be aware of what goes around specifically that one subject, and broaden your sort of process. So then the next topic we're going to talk about is going to be observation. Okay, just stepping back a little bit from the noise, just stepping back and getting yourselves into different environments. And this is, a beautiful place. And I'm going to just fling the camera around. This is a place full of energy. People are out every single morning. They're all doing yoga. People are individually stretching. I've just done all my stretches this morning. People are using the outside gyms, gymnasiums, and all this stuff is free. And it kind of eliminates any excuse to not get some stuff done. But one of the fascinating things about here in Thailand is just observing the kind of, or any country, I suppose, but just observing the kind of people that and what they're doing, and you don't need to be in people's faces, but you can kind of almost like sort of ask yourself questions. I wonder what their story is. I wonder what they're doing. I wonder what trials and tribulations that they've got. See, everyone's on that journey, and some people got a smoother path than other people. Some people are, standing in every pothole you can possibly find. And unfortunately for people my age, men of my age, there's a bit of a stigma about why people come to Thailand, and that's normally by people that have never been here before and don't fully understand the whole way that the culture works. But in essence, let's say you've got several groups that you can put yourself in. You've got people that have relocated here, people that live here, and maybe they've got a wife, a couple of kids or whatever, got a nice little house, condo, apartment or whatever, and very much keep themselves to themselves and sort of sort of living their life really, but just in a different country, And then I suppose you've got the kind of traveller, the person that comes here for the 5-10 days, maybe extends to the 2 weeks, whatever, a month, okay, and they get immersed in the culture, and they know where the said areas are. They know where different areas of different places are, So in every country, you've got your kind of party zone, and more prevalent here in the Philippines, you've got your bar girls and you've got all that. And you can choose to get involved with that kind of stuff, that stigma stuff, or you can navigate yourself around it. And I, for one, navigate myself around it. I don't have any interest in that sort of stuff. I don't need any drama in my life, if you like. But some people like to, get involved with that. Enough said on that. Okay, you can elaborate. You can go into depth yourself. And I suppose really you've got the kind of you kind of got people that are lost. I see people here, and it's where I become really grateful for what I do have, because I look around and I see other foreigners that have got a lot less, and unfortunately I see some people in a bit of a state. They're kind of, their hygiene is, they've let their hygiene go, they've let their health and fitness go. And I'm no oil painting, by the way, and I'm no body Adonis, but this is part of my observation of just seeing the different types of people that are here. And then I suppose you've got the soul searcher as well. You've got the person that's come to Chiang Mai because they kind of understand what it's about, and they're just looking for something. What they're looking for, I don't know, but it's kind of got all of that types of people here. So I kind of working on myself, not to judge people, but just to observe, often sitting in a coffee shop, often just watching, people going by, and then asking myself, I wonder what their story is. And I've had a couple of engagements with people. We've sat down and shared a table and just talk about stuff. And I think over the years, the amount of people I've spoken to is people are very challenged, and definitely coming from the West. They're fed up. They're searching for something else. And as the saying goes, the sun always rises in the east. And I think that's what people are looking for. So that's the kind of observation piece. And then the final piece we're going to talk about, in a little bit more detail, in Coffee Corner, is going to be positioning. Okay, so my own story was I decided to stop drinking alcohol. I decided to reduce my sugar intake. I decided to get rid of all of seed oils, and I only ever, where I can. It's difficult when you're eating out because you don't know what they're using. Coconut oil was my preferred oil. And you start to investigate certain things, like I'm on the path now of looking into hydrogen peroxide at the moment, food grade. It's a different story, but you know, we have been suppressed and we have had a lot of stuff. And the way I look at it, when I said to you, I practice neutrality, I kind of almost like in my mindset of put myself back to, when you first arrived on this planet back in the day, maybe the caveman era or whatever the story is. We'll never know, because most of this stories these days are all becoming apparent as being blatant lies and Darwin's theory and biblical Bible stuff and all of that type of stuff. People are starting to ask the validity in all of this stuff. So I think now, this part of positioning yourself, like I said, know and understand exactly where you are, be grateful for where you are, and you are where you are because of the choices and decisions you've made in the past. That is the number one thing. You've got to own yourself. There is no blame. And you're going to hear me saying this quite a lot. But position yourself in order to take the next step forward, in order to get to where you need to get to. And it will take time. There's no such thing as instant gratification. And this is why people give up, because they try something and they don't see the fruits of their labor straight away, when they don't realize that they're not even really in the foundation stage just yet. They're really, got the shovel in their hand and they're just about to start digging, So depending on what your plan is and where you want to get to, that plan may be huge, and it's not beyond the thought process to say you want to be financially free, you want to be healthy, financially free. A lot of in internet land, it's all measured by the money, or to earn 1 million, or to earn 10 million, or to do this. It needn't be like that. You can have a greater life than most of these people with an abundance of money, than with having far less money. Okay, so thankfully we're all different. But position yourself in a way to understand and make your plan might mean, right, for me, my dream was to live on a paradise island. Well, let's get to the paradise island. And that in itself was a decision half made for me, relationship breakdown or whatever. And I do understand thoroughly that, if we to meet and you to speak to me, it's going to be nothing but excuses. Oh, when the kids leave school, or no, you don't have that time. Every other week now I'm hearing of people losing their lives, or taking their lives, or drinking themselves to death or whatever. And they've probably, without being rude, they've probably never left their own town or city. They've never got out there, they've never really loved, and they've never really lived. So that position might just be one step. Your step will be different to my step. My step was quite a big step of getting to somewhere where I wanted to be. And then almost like the bit in the middle, from where you are to where you want to be, you make it up, right? Now, I got that from a mentor of mine, because the piece in the middle can become very, very complicated, okay? Because you think of every excuse, every reason why you can't do it. You think of the how, okay, instead of just taking that step forward and getting there and then working it out. Now, admittedly, it would be nice if you had a few coins in your pocket. Now, most of us have back home. I've got a shipping container, right, which I'm planning to go back now after 5.5 years, so nearly 6 years, to empty that shipping container and to sell them stuff. Most of you got a garage, most of you got an attic. Now, I'm not saying that what I'm portraying on this channel is your dream. I'm just using my dream as a kind of example of getting out, getting traveling, meeting new people, etc. And yours might be completely different. Yours might be to get on the property ladder, or to own a business or whatever. My point being is, you need to spend time positioning, because if it's business related, nobody should really get into business unless you fully understand your unique point of difference, your UPD. There's so many copycat businesses that don't make it and fail and fall by the wayside because they just didn't structure the thought process and the design of the business and then establish where the entry point for that business was going to be and what's going to make them different to the competitors. Because of course we're all going to have competitors unless you come up with something totally unique, which normally is an invention. Without too long, it's going to be copied. Okay, so you'll always get competition in that sense. Okay, so that's what we're going to quickly go into Coffee Corner. We're going to speak about, are you awake? We're going to speak about your awareness. We're going to speak about observation, and we're going to speak about positioning. Okay, let's dive into Coffee Corner right now. Awake introduction. Being awake isn't just about opening your eyes in the morning. It's about waking up to life itself, to your thoughts, feelings, and the world around you. It's stepping out of autopilot mode and living with intention and clarity. Today, we're going to explore what it truly means to be awake and how it can bring more purpose and awareness to your life. Theoretical definition. At its simplest, being awake means being conscious and alert, but it's so much more than that. Spiritually, it's about enlightenment, seeing beyond the surface of things and connecting with deeper truths. Philosophically, being awake challenges us to question our beliefs and understand the meaning of existence. Socially, it's recognizing the systems and structures that influence our lives and questioning whether they serve us. Emotionally, it's tuning into our feelings and the feelings of others, creating a richer, more empathetic connection to the world. Practical application. Start your day intentionally. Take a few quiet moments each morning to ask yourself, what matters most to me today? Let this guide your actions. Listen with presence. The next time you have a conversation, focus entirely on the person speaking. Notice how this deepens your connection. Notice your body's signals. Pay attention to physical sensations. They often hold clues about your emotional state. Break the routine. Try doing something differently today, even if it's as simple as taking a new route to work. This helps you stay present. Bring awareness to the mundane. Whether you're eating, walking, or washing dishes, focus completely on the task. Notice the details you usually overlook. Actionable steps. Morning reflection. Spend 5 minutes writing down your thoughts and intentions for the day. It sets the tone for mindful living. Mindful activity. Choose one daily activity to do with full attention, like savoring your morning coffee or enjoying a quiet walk. Challenge your beliefs. Pick one assumption you've held for a long time and ask yourself, is this really true? Reflect on what you discover. Unplug. Set aside an hour each day to step away from technology and focus on being present. End your day with gratitude. Before bed, list 5 moments from the day that made you feel alive or connected. Be aware. It can be overwhelming. Becoming more aware might feel intense at first. Take it one step at a time. Avoid judgment. Don't use your awareness to criticize yourself or others. Focus on growth instead. Patience is key. Awakening is a journey, not a destination. Be kind to yourself as you learn. Stay grounded. It's easy to get lost in new realizations. Remember to stay connected to the present moment. Don't overconsume. Too much information can lead to analysis paralysis. Take time to reflect on what resonates. Conclusion. Now it's your turn. What does being awake mean to you? Have you had moments where you felt truly awake and aware? Let's continue. Okay, moving on to awareness. Introduction. Awareness is like turning on a light in a dark room. It helps us see clearly, understand deeply, and engage more meaningfully with the world around us. In this segment, we'll explore what it means to cultivate awareness and how it can enhance every aspect of your life. Theoretical definition. Basic meaning. Awareness is the ability to recognize and perceive what is happening within and around you. Inner awareness. Understanding your own thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. External awareness. Noticing the details of your environment and the people in it. Social awareness. being attuned to the dynamics and needs of others. Expanded awareness, connecting with the bigger picture, your role in the world and its interconnectedness. Practical application, pause and observe. Take a moment during your day to stop and notice what's happening around you. Use all your senses. Check in with yourself. Ask, how am I feeling right now? And acknowledge your emotions without judgment. Listen fully. When someone speaks, focus entirely on their words, tone, and body language. Notice patterns. Pay attention to recurring thoughts or behaviors that may need adjusting. Engage with nature. Spend time outside and observe the details, the sky, trees, or even the sound of the wind. Actionable steps. Set daily check-ins. Schedule brief moments to pause and reflect on your feelings and surroundings. Practice mindful breathing. Spend 2 to 3 minutes focusing on your breath to center your awareness. Journal your observations. Write down what you notice about yourself and your day to spot patterns. Be present in conversations. Put away distractions and focus entirely on the person you're speaking with. Expand your perspective. Read or watch something that challenges your worldview to broaden your understanding. Be aware. Overthinking. Awareness can lead to overanalyzing. Balance is key. Emotional overload. Becoming highly attuned to emotions might feel overwhelming initially. Distractions. Modern life is full of noise. Creating space for awareness takes effort. Judgment. Avoid judging yourself or others as you become more aware. Stay compassionate. Superficial awareness. Don't mistake surface level noticing for deep understanding. Dig deeper. Conclusion. How do you cultivate awareness in your life? What's one moment today where you felt truly aware? Share your stories in the comments below. Let's move on to observation. Introduction. Observation is the art of truly seeing, not just looking, but noticing, understanding, and connecting. It's about paying attention to the details of life that often go unnoticed and using them to enrich our experiences. In this segment, we'll explore the power of observation and how it can transform the way you interact with the world. Theoretical definition. Basic meaning. Observation is the act of noticing or perceiving something with careful attention. Scientific perspective. A method of gathering data by closely monitoring phenomena without interference. Philosophical insight. Observation helps us discern patterns and truths about life and existence. Emotional observation. Recognizing and interpreting your feelings and those of others. Social observation. Understanding dynamics, interactions, and behaviors in your environment. Practical application. Active watching. Instead of glancing, take time to study what's in front of you, whether it's a scene, a person, or a moment. Note. Subtleties. Pay attention to small details like tone of voice, body language, or changes in your environment. Engage all senses. Don't just rely on sight. Listen, smell, touch, and even taste to enhance your observations. Reflect on interactions. After conversations, think about what was said and what might have been left unsaid. Practice curiosity. Ask questions about what you observe to deepen your understanding. Actionable steps. Daily observation challenge. Spend 5 minutes observing something in detail, like a plant, an object, or your surroundings. Journal observations. Write down 3 things you noticed today that you'd usually overlook. Focus during conversations. Notice expressions, gestures, and pauses when talking to others. Take a walk with purpose. Go for a walk and observe as many new details as you can. Attend to yourself. Observe your own thoughts and feelings throughout the day without judgment. Be aware. Over-analyses. Observing too much can lead to overthinking and stress. Stay balanced. Bias. Be mindful of interpreting observations through your own assumptions or prejudices. Missed action. Don't get so caught up in observing that you forget to engage and act. Emotional triggers. Observing deeply might bring up uncomfortable feelings. Process them with care. Observation fatigue. Taking in too much information can be tiring. Allow yourself breaks. Conclusion. What have you observed today that surprised or intrigued you? How has observation helped you in your life? Share your stories and insights in the comments below. Finally, positioning introduction. Positioning is all about where you stand, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, and strategically. It's about understanding your place in the world, your relationships, and your goals. Today, we'll explore how positioning yourself with purpose can lead to greater clarity and success in life. Theoretical definition. Basic meaning. Positioning refers to establishing your place or stance in a particular situation or environment. Strategic perspective. In decision making, it's about aligning your actions with your goals. Social positioning. Understanding and navigating your role within groups and relationships. Self-positioning. Defining who you are and what you stand for. Global perspective. Recognizing your role in the larger context of society and the world. Practical application. Clarify your values. Identify what truly matters to you and let it guide your decisions. Set boundaries. Know when to say yes and when to say no to protect your priorities. Evaluate your environment. Regularly assess whether your surroundings support or hinder your goals. Align actions with goals. Make sure your daily activities reflect your larger aspirations. Seek feedback. Ask others how they perceive your positioning and adjust if needed. Actionable steps. Write a personal mission statement. Define who you are, your purpose, and what you want to achieve. Identify influences. List the people and factors that shape your decisions and evaluate their impact. Create a vision board. Visualize where you want to position yourself in the future. Regular check-ins. Reflect weekly on whether your actions align with your desired positioning. Practice repositioning. If something isn't working, don't be afraid to adjust your stance or approach. Be aware. Comparison trap. Avoid comparing your position to others. Focus on your own path. Stubbornness. Being too rigid in your positioning can close you off to new opportunities. Overcommitment. Trying to position yourself everywhere can lead to burnout. Negative influences. Be cautious of people or environments that push you into positions that don't align with your values. Fear of change. Repositioning can be uncomfortable, but is often necessary for growth. Conclusion. Where do you see yourself right now, and where do you want to be? What's one step you can take today to better position yourself for the life you want? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Positioning isn't just about where you are, it's about where you're headed. That's it for today's video. What do these 4 terms mean to you? Have you had time to stop and think about the words and terms you use on a daily basis? Share your experiences in the comments below so others can embrace your views. We would all love to hear them. Remember, all of this is progress, not perfection. I don't have all the answers and neither do you, but collectively, we all learn and grow together. Okay, so there you have it. The 4 topics covered, very much in a theoretical stance. I've taken a bit of information from, as I've already stated, from doing a search. I put it into AI to find out what it is. I've given you the theoretical thought process behind it, but it's a guideline. Yeah, it's if you take each of them topics now, if you so please, if you want to get involved or get involved in the comments below, if you take each of those topics and stretch them and elongate them and come up with, you know, maybe 5 to 10 points under each topic of what you're going to change, what you're going to do. So you're awake. Are you awake? It might mean a change in your routine. It might mean you know, offloading a couple of people or whatever. You know, we're not going to repeat ourselves here, but you know, you can come up with these kind of. I think they're quite poignant for 4 points to be getting on with to the launch of this channel. And then what I'm going to try and do is put Coffee Corner into alphabetical order. Okay, so I hope you've got some goodness and some value out of this, and can't wait to update you and speak to you in the next video. Stay safe. Speak soon.